Welcome back to Cord Cutting today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of television, including the end of late night TV on ABC, NBC, and CBS. We're always seeing CBS ditch it. Now, some big things have happened that puts the rest of late night TV in doubt. And this comes as people are changing how they watch stuff. Also, there's a new free over-the-air TV network launching. This is from the parent company behind MeTV, and MeTV Tunes will tell you what it is and when you can expect it to launch. And cable TV saw its viewership drop to a record low for cable TV networks in August, according to Nielsen. We're going to break down these stories and a whole lot more here in a quick minute, but you can find a link to every story I'm about to talk about in the show notes and in the first pinned comment there, so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that thumbs up. Doing one or the other will let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so they recommend our videos to more people. With that said, let's dive into it. Now, this happened right after I recorded my video for yesterday, but ABC polled Jimmy Kimmel after a backlash over some of his remarks during one of his monologues. This came as Nexstar threatened to pull his content, and Sinclair signaled they may also be pulling it, and that resulted very quickly in ABC pulling the show for the foreseeable future. Now, insiders report that ABC hopes, and its parent company Disney, to get the show back on the air. But two of the largest providers of ABCs across the country, Sinclair and Nexstar, which is also buying Tenga, are really pushing back on it. Now, a few things here. You know, Jimmy Kimmel is one thing, but it's a bigger picture on the current state of late night TV. We already see CBS canceling The Late Show with no plans to renew it or get a new host after it ends next year. We've heard several analysts predict that it's just not profitable. There's been mixed reports of these shows being profitable or unprofitable, with some of them saying The Late Show on CBS was losing as much as $30 million a year. Now, I do firmly believe it's very different. Quite a few years ago, you know, The Tonight Show, when it was long reported when commercial breaks would happen, everybody would run to the bathroom, and some cities like New York City would have water problems as everybody tries to flush the toilet at the same time during commercial break. Well, that kind of everybody watching at the same time has gone away. We have streaming and so many other options to watch television. Those late night talk shows are not nearly as important. More importantly, though, advertisers have been pulling out. We just did a story earlier this week about how increasingly advertisers are ditching traditional cable and broadcast and going to things like streaming and other digital ways for ads. Mark my word, while it's very possible that ABC does bring back Jimmy Kimmel, I think that show and others their days are limited. It's probably more profitable for them now to run reruns, movies, and other content in that slot than it is to try to continue these late night shows. And when it becomes more profitable to do that, I think that's going to be the end. Much like how Stephen Colbert came back and they announced that, hey, at the end of it, basically his contract, we're not renewing it, we're not getting a new host, that's going to be the end of it. Wouldn't surprise me if ABC does the same thing, does not replace it. There is an outside chance that the show never comes back. It depends on how strongly Nexstar and Sinclair object to it. We'll see. Those are, again, the two largest providers. If they refuse to bring the show back, the show is dead. Really, the power here lies with the local TV stations. If they refuse to broadcast the ABC evening show there, then it's just not going to make it. So we'll watch this closely, but that's my prediction. No matter what happens in 5 years, these shows are done. I don't see it being financially feasible to continue them. All right, let's keep moving along. Speaking of reruns on over-the-air TV, the parent company behind MeTV and MeTV Tunes is launching a new over-the-air network called West. Now, this will launch by the end of this month on September 29th, on Monday. Now, it's going to launch in 55.7% of the United States that they'll offer it there, that you'll be able to watch these networks for free over there. Now, a lot of Western-related content here and movies and television shows for free with West. So check out, link in the show notes. It will be available on some cable TV providers. You can check out our story to find out some of the markets it's launching in and learn more if it's going to be available where you are with that. All right, next up, cable TV viewership drops to historic lows in August, according to Nielsen. Total percentage of viewership in the United States Cable TV networks, separate from broadcast, accounted for just 22.5% of all TV viewing. Now that's down, up modestly from July as Sports and More returns. But still, for the month of August, historically, that's a very bad month. I think the worst ever since this measurement was started with this. Streaming accounted for 46.4%. Broadcast TV 19.1%, and other, which includes things like DVDs, etc., includes 12% of viewership. Now, this is total eyeballs, how much people spend on each 1% of viewership. Now, interestingly, with this, not a big deal in streaming. YouTube is number 1. I kind of put YouTube in its own category. I don't directly compete YouTube against things like the Roku channel, Tubi, and more. I think those are very different streaming services. But Netflix is number 2, Disney in 3rd, Amazon Prime Video in 4th with it. Very interesting with that. Does it surprise you that cable TV and broadcast TV are closing the gap? And if this trend continues, we may see more people watching ABC, NBC, Fox than are watching all the cable networks combined with it. I think sports and news has a big part to play with that. But overall, cable TV numbers continue to drop. Brings me back to my point. I've said it many times. I believe in the next few years, as soon as maybe even before the year ends, we're going to start seeing a growing number of smaller cable TV networks, those very niche small ones, shut down, be combined, and go away. There's just not enough eyeballs to justify all the cable networks that are on the market at this time. Today in TV history, got a big one. 60 years ago today, I Dream of Jeannie first premiered on NBC. The widely hit show came out in 1965, ran for 5 years, and the final episode aired September 1st, 1970 with that. Grew up watching this all the time. Did you watch it? You know, several casting changes throughout the run of it, but a wildly popular show that to this day still gets a lot of viewership online and even on TV from time to time. So I Dream of Jeannie, now 60 years old this week. All right, we talked about Nielsen's numbers. Let's look at the free ad-supported services like the Roku channel, Tubi, etc. Now remember, I separate those from YouTube because I think they're different markets. But the Roku channel, again, remains dominant now as the most popular, most watched free ad-supported live TV streaming service. Roku's been really growing. Jump in Mini there. Now that is more with 2.8% of all viewership on TV. Now Tubi came in second at 2.2%. Now interesting, Nielsen now combines Paramount Plus and Pluto TV. But according to Nielsen, those two combined account for just 2%. Warner Brothers Discovery accounts for 1.4%, which includes HBO Max and others, and Peacock accounts for 1.4%. It is important to note that some of these free services are getting more viewership than a growing number of the paid services, even big ones like HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Peacock, and more with it. And it is interesting to see how close it is. Netflix, though, dominant. 8.7% of all TV viewings on Netflix. Disney is 4.6% on streaming. Amazon Prime Video, 3.9%. And then it goes down to 2.8% for Roku. Does it surprise you to see how much more viewership happens on Netflix than on things like HBO Max and Peacock and others? Leave me a comment. Let me know if that surprised you. It did surprise me a little bit. I thought those would be a little bit closer. All right, if you were looking for a new episode of South Park this week, you may not be able to find it. South Park's creator said, oops, we didn't finish the episode in time, so they ran a rerun this week instead of having it. Not sure exactly what caused them to not finish in time, but they said apparently when you do everything at the last minute, sometimes you don't get it done. This one's on us. We didn't get it done in time. So thanks to Comedy Central and South Park fans for being so understanding. Tune in next week. Kind of interesting to see that be. I wonder if they were making changes, just decided they wanted to edit the script, or they legitimately just ran out of time to finish it. But if you were looking for South Park, that's why it wasn't live or new this week. Speaking of new, Plex, the streaming service and media service, has rolled out a major update to its Roku app with a whole new user interface and pushing more content discovery on its free ad-supported streaming service. Plex rolled out a massive update. Have you noticed this on other devices? I noticed it on Roku so far. I did not notice it on my others, but maybe that changed since the time of this posting. Let me know, has Plex updated for you? Now, Plex had announced these changes, but they're increasingly rolling it out to more devices. And if you're a Plex user, don't be surprised if you log in soon and find an updated user interface with new menus and more. Speaking of Netflix, Netflix will be launching a new live-action Scooby-Doo series. Yes, they're not an animated Scooby-Doo, a live-action Scooby-Doo series coming in 2026. The 55-year-old Scooby-Doo show is going to get its live-action television show on Netflix. We'll see how it goes. Anybody excited? Worried? Let me know what you think of Netflix making a Scooby-Doo show with that. A few other stories that jumped out to me today, because I love news. I love all this stuff. Samsung, are you ready for more ads? Are you ready for ads on your fridge? Samsung refrigerators with screens on them are going to start getting ads. Yes, custom recommendations and more. Now this comes from a report over at The Verge with that. It says Samsung screens everywhere, which gives you access to like your calendar and more on your refrigerator. It's going to start showing ads there, effective soon. So you can't not escape the ads. They keep coming. Also, interestingly, we talked about how China and the U.S. struck a deal to sell off TikTok in the United States, or at least the majority. And now the Wall Street Journal is reporting that there's a couple of big companies, Oracle being one of the biggest to be the new owners of TikTok. Silver Lake Consortium and others are leading, but I'm hearing a lot of smoke around Oracle. They're at least trying to be the new owners of TikTok. We'll see how that goes. TikTok is one of the largest video streaming services in the United States, and it's majority owned by China, something that the U.S. government has for many years been pushing back on. Now, it sounds like Oracle may be the new majority owner of it. Also, we're talking a lot about NVIDIA and AI and computer chips and more. This one, it grabbed my attention here. It's a little inside baseball I'm going to throw out there. NVIDIA is investing $5 billion into Intel. Now, Intel is a struggling chip manufacturer, make computer chips and more. NVIDIA is a red-hot chip manufacturer, mostly known for their graphics cards, displays, and more. And they're very popular NVIDIA Shield streaming players. I still hope that they launch some new ones with that. But they're investing $5 billion with a B, not million, $5 billion into Intel. Be interesting to see how that plays out. Well, that's it for today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. We're going to be back here tomorrow with another video. Until then, take care, be safe. We'll be back again real soon. Take care, everybody.